Now, the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
We had to make a decision at that point in the game when we're down. It's either we can do what we did the night before and this can get real ugly, or do it the right way and give ourselves a chance. And, you know, obviously we did that.
Did we know we could do it? Yes. It was great doing it in Chrysler in front of that many fans, you know, head to head. It was surreal. It was great, and I think well-deserved too.
This past Sunday in Ann Arbor, the Michigan State gymnastics team inched one step closer to winning back-to-back regular season Big Ten titles. The Spartans took down rival Michigan in Ann Arbor for the first time since 1990 and did it by recording a program road score record of 198.05. So of course, we had to catch up with head coach Mike Rowe this week to talk about the victory. All right, well, last year you beat Michigan here for the first time since 2007. And then over the weekend, you go there and beat them for the first time since 1990. Which win felt better for you?
That one, this one, this year, yeah. It was, you know, did we know we could do it? Yes. I think timing plays a part of it, where it falls in the season, all that kind of stuff. You know, we got them at the beginning of the year at Super 16, which was kind of nice, but you know, who knew what preparation, you know, and where everybody was at that point in the game? We had no idea, so we were just going to try to do the best. I don't feel like we had our best meet at that time either, but it was still a decent showing, obviously. But it was great doing it in Chrysler in front of that many fans, you know, head to head, and yeah, it was surreal. It was great, and I think well-deserved too.
And Mike Rowe just gets more and more excited.
Yeah, last year it felt like maybe it was sort of an upset win for the program. You didn't get that sense this year. This was more of like you expected to go into there and win, right? Yeah,
I mean, we always do too, and that's more like, I think, we're up on our game every week, and that's, you know, I'm going to say 2 years ago, it was like baby steps every week. Let's just try to get a higher score. Let's see how we're doing, and that worked. This year, it's like we know we're capable of so much more. You know, that 198 was a nice showing, but we're capable of even pushing that boundary, and very excited to still have more opportunities to do it. You know, week 5 this year as opposed to week 9 last year. So we'd love to do it again. And the kid, they just want to raise the bar and do it. What could I have done to make this 1/10 higher or a half a tenth higher? You know, obviously stuck landings are always the case, and we'll be working on those in the next couple days even more. It's not that we don't address these things, it's just we got to address them more consistently under the circumstances, and you know, hope for the best when we get in the arena.
You have the highest road score in program history, and you want more from them, and they want more from themselves. How does that just help the program too, having players, athletes that want to get better, even when they are already doing better than what the program has done in the past?
Well, I think that they've proven it to themselves that they can continually do it. I mean, we had success with it last year, you know, not even really a different mindset, just, you know, knowing what they're capable of doing, and then knowing what they did last year. They just know that that's where the bar is set, so they go for it and they try. And where I think in the past, and I'm not talking the past 3 years, but prior to that, we used to maybe not obsess, but if we had a non-stuck landing or over rotation or step out of bounds, something like that, we'd over-address it. I think letting it go and just knowing what do we need to do to not worry about that happening again, or what do we need to fix? You know, I said my biggest concern this past weekend was for us all trying to nail and stick our landings on every event, because normally when you try to do that, you do exactly the opposite. So I was like, don't worry about the landings, worry about the technique and the skill of the dismount, and you'll drop into the landing. So I think that mindset helped a little bit, and they were just hungry.
Someone who did nail and stick the landing, Sage Kellerman, obviously getting her second 10 of the season on vault. You talked about wanting to get better. For her to have 2 10s now this year, how do you keep getting her better to make this a routine, basically? Well,
and we talk about the controllables versus the uncontrollables. You know, a 10 is an uncontrollable. You don't know what a judge is going to throw. You could get 1 10 and 1 995, and still it's a 10, but it's not the 10. So, you know, we're not going for the 10 every week. The vault that she blasted on Sunday was bigger and had more distance by far than the one she did at Super 16 out in Las Vegas. And I think literally as I saw her land and stay, put whatever, I was like, that has to be a 10.
Sage Kellerman isn't the only Spartan to record a perfect 10 this season. 2 Sundays ago against Iowa, sophomore Nikki Smith recorded the program's first ever 10 on floor. So this team continues to reach new heights. And when we come back, we're going to sit down with a gymnast who has been very key to this recent success. We'll see you soon.
This segment is sponsored by the Lansing Sports Commission.
Experiencing a Spartans game is a lot like life. Farm Bureau Insurance sees the connection and is a proud supporter of Michigan State athletics. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
It all started with an idea.
We came here with 2 kids and a suitcase.
A business to proudly call your own.
The most gratifying part of owning a business is the relationships that have formed over the years.
Made even better by a reliable partner to support you every step of the way.
Anytime we have any questions or we need any assistance, we can go to the entire team at MSU FCU.
So when it's your moment, dream big.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Coming into this season, Skyla Schulte's legacy was already cemented within the Michigan State gymnastics program. As a freshman, she became the first ever Spartan to earn All-American honors on beam. Our Haley Schoengart caught up with her this week and has more on how Schulte hopes to continue paving the way through the history books.
Well, Skyla, we'll start off with, I feel like the big question everyone kind of wants to know, that bus ride back from Ann Arbor, your all's first win in Ann Arbor since 1990. How do you describe just the environment, what was created as you all headed back to East Lansing?
We were very excited on the bus getting on, but then everybody was kind of just tired after because I think we just had so much energy during the meet and everybody was so excited that once we finally got to sit down, everybody's like, oh, like we kind of just did that.
There it is. Michigan State 198.05 to Michigan's 197.625.
It just felt very special. I would say it definitely boosts the confidence, but it also, there's always something we can work on. So we're always going to want to get back in the gym. And we talk about dog mentality a lot. And so this week that was kind of like our motto. And I think that really is just never being satisfied. So even though we did, tie our beam record, we're never satisfied with it. So we're just going to keep working.
Just the dismount, switch leap, gainer full to a stuck landing.
What has it been like, the journey, just going from where this program was your freshman year to, eclipsing 198 5 meets in?
Like unreal, probably. I would say almost speechless. Just the fact that this has always been my dream and goal growing up, and now that I get to live in my answered prayer, it's just, I'm speechless.
Your parents went to Michigan State. Do you have a first memory of getting to East Lansing and getting to see Michigan State's campus and even specifically the gymnastics team?
Probably when I was little. I mean, we would just always come up for football games, but the gymnastics team, I would say I came on like my unofficial, I don't know. It wasn't really we couldn't really do that. So I didn't really get to talk to anybody because I wasn't I hadn't signed my papers yet. But I saw them practice from outside of the cage because I wasn't allowed in yet. And just the energy in practice really sold it for me.
And then for them to express interest, what was that like on your end, knowing the little girl that used to watch on the outside of the cage, that they wanted you to be a part of this team?
I never had a doubt that this wasn't going to be my home for the next 4 years. In 6th grade, I told my club coach, I was like, I want to go to Michigan State. And of course, I was a level 8. So they were like, okay, well, call us back when you're a level 10. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be at Michigan State one day.
Going back to nationals, you went by yourself 2 years ago. You guys are still looking for that bid to go as a team. What's been your message as you try to give motivation to the team?
My freshman year experience, just the atmosphere of nationals and walking in there kind of not by myself, but just I was like, oh my gosh, we want to be here as a team. This is unreal. And then last year, Delaney and Gabby went, and just seeing them, thrive there, as a team would just be, it would make the whole experience. And we deserve to be there. And regionals, getting so close, 0.15 away from making it almost makes it worse than like losing by a bunch because you're that much closer every year. And I would say I don't want to feel that way again after regionals. Even though we did accomplish so much, there's still that little bit of like, okay, well, we were that close. Like, we don't want to do that again this year.
What gives you the confidence that this is the year?
Just trusting in each other and trusting our training, keeping up with all of the details and really honing in on that, I would say, and just keeping that dog mentality, like I said in the beginning. You know, we're never satisfied with every meet. We just got a 198. Well, we're gonna have to do it again because you have to drop your highest score when the NQS comes in. So we're gonna have to get another 198 and just keep striving for our biggest goal.
Schulte isn't the only person on campus finding success after following in their parents' footsteps of coming to Michigan State. When we come back, we're going to sit down with someone who is having a similar career path, but over at Munn Ice Arena with the Michigan State hockey team. We'll see you soon.
This segment is sponsored by Shoe Pad.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Daniel Russell is a sophomore on the Michigan State hockey team and was the hero in a thrilling last-second victory over Minnesota here at Munn Ice Arena. The Traverse City native isn't the first member of his family to don the green and white, and he caught up with our Tyler Driesinga this week to talk more about his journey to East Lansing and the influence his dad had on him with the sport of hockey.
Mishandles the puck. Can he recover? Yes! Russell and Michigan State win it.
Daniel Russell is a second-generation Spartan hockey player. His dad, Kerry Russell, played here from 1987 to 1991 and was drafted by the Hartford Whalers in 1988. Daniel learned the game playing on an outdoor rink his dad constructed in their backyard in Traverse City. So from the very start, hockey helped build the bond between father and son.
What are the biggest lessons that your dad taught you about hockey?
I'd say a big one is definitely confidence, like when you're on the ice, just like confidence in your ability.
That confidence helped Russell stay the course through the ups and downs of junior hockey.
After a U16 year playing youth hockey in Grand Rapids for Fox Motors, I was able to get to a tryout at Fargo in the USHL. I made the team there, but I was kind of like a extra forward in and out of the lineup. And then the next year, I ended up getting cut from that team and going down to the NAHL for Minot. So then the year after that, I was in Sioux Falls, and then I stayed there for 2 years.
Backhand, he scores! Dan Russell, his second of the night!
After the long road through juniors, Russell eventually reached his destination in East Lansing. He says Michigan State was one of the first schools to start recruiting him. Given his family history here, choosing the Spartans was a no-brainer, and he became a part of Adam Nightingale's first freshman class.
What was it about his coaching style that drew you in?
I think he just has like a lot of belief in the players, and obviously we do a lot of like systems and stuff, but there's also like a part of just being a hockey player too, and not just only staying inside the lines that you're supposed to, but also like making reads and stuff that, you know, you trust your instincts too as well.
Yeah, you talked about how your dad kind of instilled confidence in you as a hockey player. Do you feel like some of that with Coach Nightingale, you know, allowing you guys to play to your instincts, does that kind of increase your confidence?
Yeah, for sure. I think like him having confidence in you also really helps you have confidence in yourself as well, which he does a great job of doing. Like, it's not always just focusing on like bad things and teaching points. It's also like pointing out all the good things that you do on the ice as well.
And I'm sure you came here hoping to be a part of turning around this program. Did you expect it to happen as quickly as it has?
I mean, definitely not. Like he's made like Nightingale's made a huge influence on like really changing like the culture here and just like making us know that like we can be like the top program in college hockey.
Obviously, you've played no small part in that turnaround. You had the game winner just a couple weeks ago with 4 seconds left against Minnesota.
Daniel Russell with 4 seconds to go, and Michigan State is going to stun Minnesota in East Lansing.
I'm sure those were the moments that you dreamed about as a kid. How did reality compare with your dreams?
Oh yeah, I mean, that was really special. That was a really cool moment to be a part of. Like, yeah, that's something you would dream about as a kid, scoring a game winner like late, and like obviously full crowd here, so that was like super fun.
There's 3 series left in the regular season. You guys are right in the race for the Big Ten title. I know Adam doesn't like you guys to look too far ahead, but what would a Big Ten title mean to Michigan State and to you personally?
I mean, it obviously mean a ton, like just having like struggled for, like Michigan State having struggled for a bit in hockey, to then like making a huge jump and hopefully winning our first like conference, like that's huge. That means a lot. It's kind of like what you dream of, to be part of like a big program, and to see us start to like do well is really cool.
You heard Russell mention when he played 2 years of junior hockey out in Sioux Falls. His line mate back then is his line mate now and roommate here at Michigan State, Carson Dorwart. So how about that? We need to take one final break, and when we come back, we're going to be chatting with the head coach of the Spartans, Adam Nightingale, to get his take on this weekend's series against rival Michigan. We'll see you soon.
This segment is sponsored by MSU Healthcare.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Just a month ago, the Michigan and Michigan State hockey teams met for the first time this season. Game 1 took place here at Munn Ice Arena, and it was the Wolverines pulling out a 7-1 victory. Then the next day in Ann Arbor, the Spartans came out victorious. After falling behind 4-1, they would rally and win 7-5. This past Saturday, the Spartans took down Notre Dame in South Bend 4-0 and sit in first place in the conference heading into this weekend series with the Wolverines. In fact, the win over the Fighting Irish gave the Spartans their 12th Big Ten win of the season, which is the most in program history, and it's all stuff we discussed this week with head coach Adam Nightingale. Obviously this weekend you guys play Michigan again for another time in last month. We'll just start with, what are the biggest takeaways from the series you had against them here and then when you went there and beat them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first one for sure we learned some tough lessons, right? I mean, you gotta remain disciplined, and they're a very talented team, and you put talented teams on the power play. You know, even if they don't score, they're skillful guys, feel the puck, and they feel good about themselves. So, you know, I liked our start, first 8 minutes. You know, they ended up scoring a shorty. They got behind us for one, where we fell asleep, and then they scored a power play goal. So down 3-0. Our reaction, you know, it's finding that balance. Obviously, it's a rivalry, but you got to control your emotions, and I thought we did a lot better job of that the next night. Like, even the start wasn't great for us on the road, and they played really good, for sure, give them credit, but I thought, you know, our guys, we had to make a decision at that point in the game when we're down. It's either we can do what we did the night before, and this is going to get real ugly, or do it the right way and give ourselves a chance, and you know, obviously we did that.
Yeah, and you've split the last 3 series now, but what did winning that game in Ann Arbor, do you think, do for this team's confidence?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're a pretty confident group. We played good hockey throughout the year, you know, and I think it's really hard to sweep in our conference. You look across, there's very few of them, especially, you know, when you're going on the road and try to get that next one.
And this past weekend with Notre Dame, sort of similar in terms of you guys dropping the first game and then coming back and winning the second game. 4-0 shutout, especially with Trey Augustine. You know, where have you seen him grow the most in terms of just being a freshman and really learning big time?
Yeah, obviously he came in here with a big time resume. You know, he's a really good goalie, and you know, I think anytime you move up a level, it's, you know, especially the goaltending position, the guys, you know, shoot a little bit harder. They're a little bigger, so the traffic. You know, he's done a better job with his rebound control. He's improving at playing the puck. You know, those are kind of the 2 areas we really knew he needed to grow. And what's nice with Trey is he understands that. You know, some guys, you know, that are that talented are afraid of areas to work on, and he embraces it, and so he's constantly working that on a daily basis. And he's had a big impact on our team, like his poise and competitiveness. You know, that's what we want our program to be about. And when your goalie's that way, that helps a lot.
Yeah, him and Red Savage were just at Little Caesars Arena last week to obviously help promote the Duel at the D that's coming up Saturday. To have those two go to play in Detroit, obviously that's a place they're drafted by, but you know, what is that experience like for the program to be able to play where the Red Wings play? Yeah,
it's awesome. I think you talk about facilities even worldwide, it's, you know, LCA's got to be at the top, you know, and it's, the Red Wings run it first class, and you know, I think the turnout too, you know, last year it sounds like it's going to be the same. It's super packed and loud, and you know, we got a lot of guys from the state of Michigan, but other guys that have watched, you know, the rivalry and watched the game in the past, and for them to get a chance to play in it, you know, I can tell our guys are super excited. Michigan
has won the Duel in the D the last couple of years, but how do you hope maybe that can spark something within the guys to want to get the trophy back for the first time since 2016?
Yeah, I think it's cool that they have that. You know, it's not often you get to play, right? We played in the GLI, and then you get this, and then obviously you have the Big Ten standings and all that. So, and to do it with your rival, and I just think for our state too, it's a great hockey state, and we got to do our part to make it competitive, and I think we have. And but our guys are excited about an opportunity to play for the trophy.
Obviously, you were on the Red Wing staff prior to coming here. What do you just like about Little Caesars Arena? Obviously, maybe compared to the Joe.
Everything's first class. You know, I think it starts with the people that work at the rink. You know, they're all high-quality people, hard-working people, and then just there was no stone unturned on the design. Obviously, the player and coaches areas are really nice. I love the pitch of the stadium, the sound, and then you have really good fans. You know, it's hockey town for a reason, and you got passionate fan base there. And I think when you combine all those together, I really do think it's a top facility in the world.
And I know after this weekend you're going to be heading into the bye. And when you guys had your first bye this season, I think a lot of players were saying that, you know, they don't like byes because they want to just keep playing. Do you feel like maybe this bye could help refresh the guys in the final home stretch of the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, I think knock on wood, but I think our guys do like playing. You know, they like practicing, and so we'll practice and we'll use the time to get better. I think that's you know, one of the things when you decide to play college hockey, you're not playing as many games, but your opportunity to practice and keep growing your game. So we'll, and you know, knock on wood, have been relatively healthy, but it'll give us some guys some chances to freshen up a little bit and get ready for the home stretch.
Yeah, do they sense that the home stretch is coming up and you guys actually have a lot to play for now as the season's winding down?
I hope so, yeah. I hope so, yeah. I mean, I think they do. You know, we got a really strong leadership group, and they've done a good job of not getting ahead of themselves and keep focusing on just one day at a time, one game at a time, but understanding that, hey, this has come to the end, and we want to be a program that plays our best hockey the second half.
And then, obviously, with the program seeking its first ever Big Ten title, is that something you guys have talked about, or is you just sort of focus on 1 week at a time?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the beginning of the year we talk about we want to win every game we play in, and that's about it. And we just focus on the process of it, and just, I know it sounds boring, but I think that's really important, and especially this day and age, there's a lot of noise, you know, and so you can, you know, I don't have it, but social media and following different things and all whatever, and really focus on things that have substance, and we think that improving in your game on a daily basis brings substance to our program, and so that's been our focus, and we put ourselves in a good spot, you know, and now we got to take advantage of it.
Puck drop between Michigan and Michigan State at Little Caesars Arena is set for 8:30 tonight and is the final meeting between the two teams in the regular season. And after tonight's game, the Spartans will head into a bye before the final 2 weekends of the regular season. As always, we appreciate you tuning in to this week's show. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.
This segment is sponsored by Spartan Dogs for Life.